Welcome to Calvin's Got Game. I'm Calvin.
I'm Lewis, his brown twin.
I'm getting brown. Today we are going to continue on with our series of games that we enjoy playing at certain year intervals.
Yeah.
I think we started out with, 1990 to
1990 to 1995.
Well, thank you, Lewis. He keeps up with better than I do. Look at that. So we're going to continue on doing that. But before we do, we got some, we always got stuff to deal with at the very beginning. Today we're recording with a little bit of just natural sunlight.
Yes.
It's so pretty outside, it's kind of opened the curtains and it seemed like enough light. So if it's not, I apologize if it goes kind of dark and light. Yeah, deal with it, right? Mm-hmm. So we'll figure it out.
Yes.
All right. So some comments from last video where we did the co-op games that were light, medium, and heavy.
Heavy, yeah.
Mark Patoka, I got that right this time, Mark. He said he found most of his games were in the light category, or no, medium category. Sorry. And then his kind of favorites were The Crew, Pandemic, Fall of Rome, Atlantis Rising, and Commissioned. Mark, let me know how you like Commissioned. I actually own it. Haven't played it yet, but I do own it. It's on the shelf of shame over here. It hadn't got played yet. So I do own it. I want to play it. I haven't had a chance to. But let me know in the comments if you enjoy that and why you enjoy it so much. Apparently it's on your list. So now let's talk about getting to that 500 subscribers. We're 110 away. We picked up a couple this last couple weeks. We appreciate everybody that does that. Thank you for pushing that subscribe button. Spread the news. I'm not new to doing this, but really haven't ever pushed people trying to subscribe to the channel. But you know what? Why not? Why not self-promote, right,
Yes.
Lewis? So anything you want to say about that, Lewis?
No, I mean, everyone that's now finding out that I'm doing these videos with you going, what's the title of it? And I tell them, and as they look it up, say, make sure you subscribe.
There you go.
Please subscribe. And I think this past Friday, I had somebody ask me, and he subscribed right there and then.
Awesome. So if you got some friends and you think this channel is worth mentioning to other people and you think we're worth watching, hey, tell people about it. We sure would appreciate it. And if I hit that 500 before December 31st, I'm going to buy a board game, a 2024 board game, and give it away to subscribers only.
Yes.
So if you're subscribed, you'll be able to get in on that drawing, and it'll be, good for everybody, I hope. All right, so with that being done, Lewis is now officially part of the channel. Look at that. We got him a shirt. He's in there. I'm glad he's on board. Hopefully, we can get Lewis to do some videos on his own if he wants. I'll be glad to record those for him. He can just come over here to the studio or the little studio office I have.
Yeah, studio office.
And he can record one, and that's fine, and I may do one during the week. And of course, we'll still do them together, right?
Yes.
So, Matt, well, you're not just hearing my opinion. You got Lewis too, and if you like seeing us do these videos together, let us know in the comments. We sure do appreciate the comments. All right, I already talked about subscribe and spread the message, so not going to go any further. With that, you guys know what to do, so get her done. All right, so we're doing our 1996 through 2000. Lewis, how did you go about making your... I know you looked at the games from 1996 to 2000, but what was your process of picking the games for that?
Well, I went by, have I ever played the game? Mm-hmm. If I ever played the game, not really own it, but if I played it,
sure,
I picked it. So that's how I went by it on there. It's no particular order either. I just wrote it down and whatever... And my wife topped it up for me. So wherever she says, okay, that makes sense, and she put it. So it might be numbered here, but it's really not a number system.
Yeah, this is not I like this game better than this game kind of thing. It's not a top 10.
Right.
How I kind of did mine was I did look up on BGG. I put in the years 1996 to 2000, and I put all, and it brought up every game. Now, I'm using BGG's years that they were created. Right?
Yes.
So if you have a beef with one of them not being in 1996, it was before that, okay, I'm sorry, but BGG said 1996 or 2000 or 1999. So The thing is I look through there and I'm like Lewis. If I've ever played the game, if I like the game, doesn't mean I have to own it. I don't have to own every game that I like. I try to, but if other people own it, I'll play it with them, unless they don't bring it to game night enough, and then I'll go buy it myself and play it when I want to, right? But I did put mine in an order. I didn't put it in how I liked what most or whatever, but I put it by year.
By year, okay.
So I put it by year. I put, the year, and you'll see how they flowed. So I guess we've done enough blathering here. Let's get on with the list. You want to go first?
Why not? Okay. This first one was in my top 100. Don't remember what spot, but it is Flux, a 1997 game. Publisher Looney Labs, not Looney Tunes, Looney Labs.
Nope.
Yep. 2 to 6 players, 5 to 30 minute game time. Now, I have played a game that was 2 minutes long.
Yeah.
It can go really fast, but yet I have played a game that have been
last for hours.
Hours.
Yeah. Because somebody's just constantly switching out that deal, or they get rid of all the deals or trade. It's horrible when that happens.
But it's a fun game. It is a fun game. There's, I think right now, maybe over 40 different variations of Flux.
Or more. I mean, they got everything. If there's something you like, more than likely you got a Flux that's pertaining to it.
But yeah, 1997 is, I believe, is the where I start playing Flux. And I like the game. My wife, this is one of the card games that my wife really loves.
Does she?
On this. Now you get a hand of, you don't have a limit of your hand right off the bat. You pick a card, play a card. Simple rules. It's as you go through the game, that the rules change.
Right.
Hand limit change. You might be a verge about winning, then realize somebody's changed everything around and your hand is swapped with somebody else's hand.
Right. You had the winning card. You could have won the next deal.
Yes.
And somebody says, yeah, let's trade hands this way. And you're like, ah.
Now, one thing I like on the newer versions, you can reserve a goal. And goal is what's put out there you have to meet to win the game. Yeah. You can reserve a goal. But it's not all the versions, and I can't remember which version it is. It is 2 versions that you can reserve a goal. But you got to be careful, because there's cards that can steal the goal from you.
Right.
So, but that is one of my games from 1996 to 2000.
All right, but that was a 1997 game?
Yeah, 1997 game.
Well, there was something I was going to say. I also tried to pick, on my list, games that weren't always on my top 100. Sometimes, I mean, if you really like the game, that's great. I'm not bashing your choice. But I'm trying to get newer games out there we don't get to talk about a whole lot, right? So, and if they're games printed back then that I liked and enjoyed, and I know I played them a bunch, I'm putting them on here. All right, so my first game, I didn't have anything from 1996, 97, or 98 that I found that I played a lot and really enjoyed. I know there were some games out there that were good games, don't get me wrong, but nothing that I can remember having such a good time as. So my first game is Apples to Apples. 1999, out-of-the-box publishings, 4 to 10 players, 20 to 30 minutes. It's ranked 7,225 on BGG. Now, you're saying Apples to Apples. Seriously? And I'm like, you know what? It came out. It was great for my family.
Yes.
My kids were younger in 1999, right? Mm-hmm. So when we played games, we played Apples to Apples. I wasn't a big fan of when Cards Against Humanity come out. I'm not a fan of that game. I'm sure that there are people that do love it, and that's great. But I prefer a more family-friendly game. And Apples to Apples presented that. So in Apples to Apples, you're trying to collect green apples.
Yes.
Everybody has a hand of red cards that have answers on them. And the green card is a question, kind of, or something like that. And so they'll play that, and you play an answer, and the person that played the green card gets to judge who has the best answer. Yes. And if that person wins, they give them the card. And they don't know whose card is whose, right? They kind of shuffle them up and just read them out. So they don't know who gave them the card. And we found that worked really well with my family, my immediate family, my kids and my wife. Worked with extended family, aunts, uncles, my mom, dad. So just a fantastic game. Apples to Apples burst on the scene, and out of the box publishing are no longer in business. They created a couple games I really liked, but this one was one of the top that I remember playing and having such a fun time with my family. So that's Apples to Apples.
All right. My second one, and this was also in my top 100.
All right.
And not one of your favorite games yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Is Zero Down.
Okay, I'm going to have to say this. I don't hate the game. I was playing the game wrong and got frustrated with it until I finally sat down and reread the rules. And I was like, I get it now. So I don't necessarily hate the game. It's just a game I really despise at first because I wasn't playing it. Me personally wasn't playing it right.
It is a 1998 game. Publisher Blue Orange Games. 2 to 5 players. About 20 minutes to play. And that's about the good right time right there. You start with a set of cards in your hands. 7, if I remember right. 7.
Actually, it's 9.
And 9. Yes, cards. 9. Sorry about that. 9. And you got to make a set of either ascending or descending order of the number cards that you have, all different colors, or you have 5 of the same number, all different colors. You can have all 5 4s, all different color, or you can have from 1 to 5 in ascending order or descending order. And the goal is to get rid of your hand as quick as possible. And whatever cards you are left with after somebody does get rid of their hands is how many points you have. The goal is to get as close to 0 as possible.
Yeah.
And you go through a few rounds. The person with the lowest points had, I think, 4 rounds, I believe.
I think it's however many players there are. I think it deals 1 per person. I think.
Yeah, I think so. And after those rounds are done, just like golf, lowest scores win.
Right.
And you might win the first 2 hands with ease. Then you come with the third hand, you go, I have nothing in my hand, and you are stuck. And then you realize, crud, I am way behind now. It's a game of chance. It's a game of pressure luck too, because you really got to be careful when what you're putting out and taking out from the board, from the table. Because you never know, you might put that card down that somebody needs, and knock on the
They'll
table.
knock.
Yep. And then next time somebody knocks, you have to put everything down. But yes, from 1998 is Zero Down.
Yeah, and what's really weird to me when I first played this game is you don't deal out all the cards.
No.
You only deal 9 to each person, then you have a few cards in a market. And that's all the cards are going to be. The rest of the cards just get put out of the game, and you're like, now how am I supposed to make what I'm supposed to make, and I don't have access to all the cards? But you figure it out eventually. So, like I said, not a bad choice. I like the game a little better than I did before, and I will play it. It's just not one of my favorite games. All right, so my next game is Lost Cities. It's also a 1999 game. It's by Cosmos. It's only a 2-player game, and it takes about 30 minutes to play, 331 on BGG. In Lost Cities, you're going on expeditions. You have a hand of cards, and you have some cards that are in the middle that are discarded. And what you're doing is you're trying to, if you play a 1 on the green expedition, you can keep going up. So, but if you play the 5 and now you got the 2, there's nothing you can do with it because you've already went over the 2. So you have to kind of do it in ascending order, and you're trying to get a certain amount of points in that expedition because you go in negative when you first start. So you try to make enough points so the expedition will be profitable so that you can continue. But while you're working on that expedition, somebody else on the other side of the board, 2-player game, they're working on expeditions as well. So they may have cards that they're playing. But after you play, you discard one out in the middle, so you have to be careful what you discard because somebody could pick it up and say, well, that's going to work great for this red expedition. And so you're trying to do the best you can at each expedition to score the most points. And I think you play like 2 or 3 rounds, maybe 4 rounds of it. I can't remember. But I do like Lost Cities. It's such a fun game for 2 players when you don't have a lot of time. Like I said, it takes 30 minutes. It's fantastic. I like Lost Cities a lot.
I've seen Lost Cities, a couple videos of it.
Mm-hmm.
Never played it, but I've seen the Lost City videos on how to play.
Yeah.
And I did see it as I was looking up the games on there. I'm going, oh, I didn't realize it was that old.
Well, there's a bigger board game of Lost Cities, and then there's just a 2-player version of Lost Cities. I don't know what the difference is. I mean, I don't know about the bigger board game. I just know about the 2-player game. But I enjoy it. My wife enjoys it. She gets frustrated with me because you can only have so many cards in your hand. You have to discard, and she gets mad if she discards something. I pick it up, and I'm going to use it later. Because you can put it out there hoping nobody takes it, and you can take it later, right? But if she puts something down, I always pick it up just to make her mad. So I enjoy the game. It's a lot of fun.
All right. So you poke the bear, don't you?
Every day. Every day.
All right. My third one. One of the new games.
All right.
Okay. It is called Kings in the Corner, a 1996 game. Publisher Jack, and that's all it had. 2 to 6 players, 30-minute game time. Now, I haven't played this one in years. When I saw it on the list, I'm going, I forgot about that game. Used to play it all the time. Basically, is you have 8 slots. And 4 of those slots are kings. And those kings shows what suit you have to be playing next to those kings. But you have to, whatever card it showing, so if it shows 3 of clubs, you got to build off of 3 of clubs. So it's a ascending card game, but there's 4 choices. And you're trying to get your cards out of your hand as quick as possible, because when the person is out of cards, that's it. And then you do the scores. Lowest score wins here on this. Now, I have played versions of this without using the official setup and all that. So you can, but I haven't done it in, I think, over a decade on this game. But when I saw this on the list, I'm going, I remember playing this.
And that's what it's about. Remember, it's not necessarily the games we play right now a whole lot, but what we remember playing also. Is it played with a deck of cards? Is that what it said? Okay.
Yeah, deck of cards, and it's played with you can play with a regular deck of cards. You just gotta put the kings to the side, and that's why you're trying to ascend to kingship. And whenever you get to that, you put the jack, queen, okay, king. That's my set right there.
Okay. I've never played it. I mean, I've heard of it. I don't think I've ever played it, but good pick, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I've never played it, so
it's an easy game, and like I said, folks, you can play this. You don't need to set up. You can take a regular deck of cards and set it up, and just find the rules online, which they do. There is a PDF online to play the game. I actually stumbled along on it when I was looking this up. But yeah, Kings in the Corner is a great game.
Awesome.
If you just want to have a good party game and get with some few friends around.
You know, I'm thankful that rules of games are online now, because I've lost some of the older rules of some of my games. And I go back, because, you know, when you have kids and they play some of your older board games, they tend to lose things. Luckily, they didn't lose any pieces. They just forgot to put the rules back in the box, right? And then they find them later. Yeah, we don't need this. And they throw them away. But I'm glad they got them online now. All right. So my next game is also a 1999 game. 1999 kind of reigns supreme in there. And it's Raw. It's by Ravensburger. 2 to 4 players, 45 to 60 minutes. And it's BGG ranked 132. Raw is a game that is bidding, and I usually don't like bidding games.
Yeah, you do not like them.
I'm not a fan of bidding games a lot. I mean, there's a few I like, For Sale and stuff like that. I played one the other night at the game store called You're Bluffing. It was okay. I didn't quite understand it. I'm not good at bidding games because I always want the bid, and I'll bid everything, and then I'm stuck out with nothing, right? I have no money, and then people are taking advantage of me. Bad people. But anyway, in Raw, you get 3 tiles, and these 3 tiles are your bidding tiles, and they have numbers on them. So you have to figure out when are you going to invoke Raw. You're drawing tiles out of a bag, and you're putting them in a line, and you got to figure out when you're going to invoke Raw to do the bidding to get all those tiles. Now, not all the tiles are good tiles. Some of them could be bad. But you have to figure it out. So you can invoke Raw and you can bid, and you may bid like a 2 if you have the 2, and somebody says, no, I'm going to get it for 3, or they're going to get it for 4. Or they may not bid at all, and you can grab it. Especially if it has one bad tile in there and they don't want it. Big deal. You got enough of those things, you can get rid of a tile. But this game is a lot of fun. I enjoy it. The epochs can come when enough of the red tile, raw tiles are drawn out. The epoch starts, which is the scoring phase. And there's 3 of those. And so once you collect all these tiles on your board, they'll stay there until the epoch. Once the epoch comes, most of them will get discarded. Only a few of them will stay, which I find very interesting. Great game. If you've never played Raw, and they come out with a deluxe version that is beautiful. I will never buy it because it's really expensive, but I enjoy it, and they do have some great printout things for Raw playmats online. All you gotta go is BGG and look in that thing. I printed out some and laminate them. They're great. I love them. So anyway, Raw.
I remember playing that game with you and Christine from Three Sons, and at first it took me a round to understand how the bidding works, but as soon as I understood it, I'm going, oh, okay. Then I like bidding games, but I like stand back and watch everybody else use their high bids, trying to get what they want there, even though they're going, I get it now, I might use it later. I stand back, I'm going, when everybody gets all the big numbers used, I'll start using mine.
Right. And just because you have little numbers don't mean you're not going to win sometime. No. And the funny part is I think at one time, Lewis, I think it got kind of dark in here, didn't it? Yep. Hello, son, come back out. At one time, I think Lewis had 2 of his bidding tiles, and me and Christine were totally out. So he got to do whatever he wanted. And he could, invoke Raw. But it got down to where it got really close to those red things coming out, the red tiles, where we were about to start the epoch. And I was chanting, Raw, draw Raw, because you're drawing them out of the bag. So it was fun. I enjoyed it.
And it didn't come out the last one.
Yeah, he got what he wanted a lot of times.
So that was Raw for you. My next one. This actually has been on a TV show. The game show they have actually made this one. And it was in the 2000s. But the game is actually older than that. 25 words or less. A 1996 game from Hasbro. 4 to 99 players.
Good gravy.
I know.
I don't ever want to play a game with 99 players. Unless it's maybe Ultimate Werewolf or something.
Yeah. 20 to 35 minutes long. And actually that's about right. Because if you ever seen the television show, 25 words or less, which you can stream online, you are given a category of words. And you got to convey the answer to your teammate by only using one word at a time. But you only have so many words you can use.
Right.
That's why it's 25 words or less. So if there's 2 teams going on, you bet each other how many words it would take to get the whole list conveyed to your partner.
I see. So you're saying I can do it in 19. That person says I can do it in 17. Is that how that works?
17.
Okay.
And it is, but you got to be careful. It's only one word at a time. So if it's a compound word, that's okay. But if it's not a compound word, they count as 2 words. And you have to really, really watch yourself. My wife started playing it play along on the show. and she will pause it, look at it, and try to come up with answers. See if she will get it less than 25 words, or see if some of her answers would be what they guess
Right.
on a game show. Well, I'm over here sitting back. I'm going, hey, I played that before, and just going, you're good at this. Yeah, I'm natural with it.
Yeah, right.
She looked at me. You played this before? No. Yes, I have.
Yeah.
Now she knows I have.
That's funny.
So yes, that is my 1996 game, 25 words or less.
All right. So my next game is Citadels, and it's a 2000 game. It's by Fantasy Flight. It's for 2 to 8 players. 20 to 60 minutes to play, and here comes the sun, and it's ranked 532 on BGG. Now, I like Citadels. Citadels could be a jerky game sometimes. It could be mean. Somebody can take the thief or the assassin and can kill a character off, and you won't even get a turn.
Yeah.
It could be aggravating, but I like it because of the hidden roles. I like that you're only You're only building a certain amount of buildings in front of you in your tableau. It's, I don't know, I really enjoy it. So in Citadels, like I said, you're building buildings in your tableau and you're earning money. So there's 3 things you can do on your turn. You can draw some cards. You can invoke the special ability on your card, or you can take gold. You can always invoke the deal on your card, but you can either draw a card or take gold. And then you can build. So there's 4 things, I guess. So I enjoy it because there's 1 to 8, and you start with number 1. Number 1 reveals who they are. And I like how you draft who you're going to be. So there's one person that has all 9 cards. They take 1. Actually, they have 8 cards. 1's put away. They have 8 of those cards. They take 1. They pass on the person next. So you kind of know what you're giving everybody else. And you're kind of going, okay, who's going to take what? Right?
Yes.
So you're thinking in your mind, is Lewis going to take that assassin? And if I take the king, is he going to call the king to kill the king? Or is he going to take the thief? And I have quite a bit of gold, he's going to call whatever I take, which, he's going to deduce out of, there's only 3 gone, so he can kind of deduce, okay, so who took what? Did Calvin take that, or did somebody else take that? So it's a good strategy game to me. It's you got to have a little bit of memory of knowing when it comes to you what cards are still there, who and what you passed on, and maybe what has been taken. So I like Citadels quite a bit. It's a hidden role game that you reveal when it's called out, and you perform your actions. It's a great game. I like it, and that's why it's on my list.
I like that game up when you first bought it out, and I didn't really understood it first couple of rounds. When I finally understood it, I'm going, okay, because I try to be nice.
Man, please. I try to be nice.
I try to be nice.
Ooh. Let me scoot over from you before you get struck by lightning.
I try to be nice, but sometimes I just throw chaos in the game. I really do.
No, Lewis does try to be nice. He actually helped me in a game we played the other day that
the train game?
No, it was that other game that we played, Slay something.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and
yes.
you like to play it more friendly until it gets closer to the end.
Yes. Yeah, Slay.
We're here to slay or something.
Yeah.
Here to slay.
Yeah, here to slay. It's a fun game, but I was trying to help you out.
So Lewis can be nice. Does he like to all the time?
No.
Although, if you're playing a game and you have a choice of going to complete your mission or save somebody, he's going to save the person.
Yeah.
So you may fail the mission, but he'll go save that person.
My last one is a 1997 game, and it's the Wonderful World of Disney trivia game.
All right.
Publisher Mattel Inc. 2 to 6 players, about 45 minutes game time. Now, I do like trivia games, but I'm very picky which ones I get. I want to mostly get trivia games that are from one category.
Mm-hmm.
Like with this one, Disney. It was about Disney movies, Disney shows, Disney songs. So anything Disney, what is this game? Is from 1997, so it is nothing from the 2000s. So it's below 2000, and it's the classic Disney when the artwork was more unique and not computerized. The songs were really rehearsed on the movies and the shows. They did come out with an updated version in the 2000. Didn't really get that one, but think of Trivia Pursuit, and you go around, answer questions, trying to get to the center. I like the little markers. They are in the shape of Mickey. I have the deluxe set, which comes in a nice gold tin, hard tin, completely metal. The cardboard is nice, strong cardboard. The little pieces are made very well, and I think, if I remember right, it's like 500 cards.
Wow!
So you might memorize a few of them, but what I like to do is this set of cards we use for this game, set to the side. We won't use them until maybe the 10th game.
Right.
Yeah, so just cycle through all of them. But yeah, I like trivia games, and for the 96 to 2000, wonderful world of Disney, trivia game is mine.
Back in the 90s, trivia games were huge.
Yes.
I mean, there were all kinds. I mean, I have Seinfeld trivia, I have Cheers trivia, I have, of course, Trivial Pursuit. I had the 90s, 80s, 70s. I have a time capsule one in metal that I actually got from a thrift shop somewhere. It's brand new in the shrink, but it was a metal container. It was the 90s capsule, and it's actually pretty good. Everything about the 90s. So you got music, you got tech, you got all kinds of stuff. But you got to know quite a few broad deals. Now,
right.
I have to confess, I don't play the trivia games exactly like they're meant to be played. Because I found that the Trivial Pursuit games were too long.
Yes.
Because you had to get those little pieces of pie, right, to fit in your little container or whatever you were trying to get. And if you landed on it and you missed it, then you had to find another one and do it. And it was hard to get to. You were rolling the dice and you had to move to it, right? So what we do is, or there was something that, I don't know, there's something that you had to do to get a piece of pie that made it more difficult than it had to be. So I just made, if you land on a slice of pie, just get the dang gum piece of pie. Or, you answer a question, you get the pie. Doesn't matter. So I don't necessarily always play the trivia games correctly. But I absolutely love them. They can prove how unknowledgeable I am. And that's fine. If there's other people smarter than me at the table, that's great. But a good thing about trivia games, and I don't know a lot about Disney, so if I played, I'd have to team up with somebody.
Right.
So that's the thing. You can make teams where people don't feel like they're not so smart.
Well, there's not just trivia. They came out with another trivia style called Seen It.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that one I got. Okay.
The Seen It's the one you use with the VCR, isn't it? Sometimes?
Yes.
Yeah. I think I have a Star Trek one somewhere.
Yeah. I have a Star Trek, Star Wars, the 80s, the 90s.
Yeah. Wow.
And it's all to be. Problem is, now I got to find a good tape player.
And now they're expensive. You used to buy them things for $10.
$10,
Now
yeah.
they're hundreds of dollars because they're obsolete, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, we went down a rabbit hole there. But let's get to my last one. My last one is Lord of the Rings. It's year 2000. It's by Fantasy Flight Game. 2 Fantasy Flight games on this list. And it's 2 to 5 players, 60 to 90 minutes, 1,122 on BGG ranking. Now, in the Lord of the Rings, the one I have has the little plastic ring that, you're trying to get it across to mount whatever it is. I don't know what it is. I'm not a big fan of Lord of the Rings. Never saw the movies. Couldn't tell you who's in them. Don't know. But the board game was interesting to me. So you're trying to use these cards to accomplish certain things to move along the board. And you're working together. It's a cooperative game. You're moving along, but once you finish one board, you move to the next board. There's a whole separate board. So once you get through that one, Then you got one more board to go through.
Yep.
It's a lot. I don't think I've ever completed it. I've got to the second board, almost completed the second board, but always die somehow, some way. But the game is fun. I enjoy it. And my wife seems to like it. And she's never seen Lord of the Rings either. So I know I'm probably not the biggest nerd. But one day I may watch it. I remember watching Dark Crystal with, David Bowie in it. And I've watched Firefly, so I'm not absolutely out of things, But Lord of the Rings just wasn't something I was always interested in. I'll probably watch it at some point. But the board game was. I enjoyed it so much. Lord of the Rings is on my list because of that.
That was, you know what? What's so funny? It was so close that I was going to put that on there.
Really?
Yes, because I've seen all the Lord of the Rings. I've seen the animated version.
They're too long.
Well, I've seen the animated version, which is shorter.
Yeah.
And I've read all the books. I've studied the folklore of it. So, yes, I know quite a bit of Lord of the Rings. And it was a buddy of mine that actually got it when it first came out. And we sat down after a long week of work. We sat down and started playing it. It's been a couple of decades now since I played that. I'm going,
Yeah.
I saw her going, you know what? Yeah, I'll put this one. I like this one better. So,
Well, that's fine. And that's it. And, we're just trying to bring some games that maybe you forgot.
yes.
Maybe you forgot to love them. Sometimes there's a lot of games on my shelf don't get the love they deserve because I got so many games I got to get to the table. And we tend to be the cult of the new.
Yes.
We want to play the newest thing that come out when the game that's new coming out does the same thing mechanic-wise as the game you have on your shelf.
Right.
That you're not showing any love to. So, get some love to these older board games.
Yes.
What do you think, Lewis?
Yes, because I have some board games collecting dust that I dust them off constantly. I'm going, I need to play this game, and I take it out
Yep.
and play it. I'm going, I forgot how great this game is.
Yeah, I'm trying to play at least my games once a year. I try to get every one of them played at least once a year, unless they're a 3-player game. I don't have a lot of them, but I do have some. I try not to keep those because I don't have a lot of people to play with. But, with that being said, anything else you want to add, Lewis?
Nothing that. You're going to be interesting for next from 2001 and
To 2004?
5.
Whatever it is. All right.
Yeah, you're going to be going, what are those games?
All right. Well, I'll be interested to look. So, guys, if you like this video, tell us what your favorite games were from 1996 to 2000, and give us a like. And please get somebody subscribing to this channel, man. When we hit 500, I'm going to buy that board game and I'm giving it away to a subscriber. So, I appreciate all the subscribers we have at this moment. Thank you guys so much. And like I always say, get a board game to the table, spend time with your friends and your family, and I thank you for watching Calvin's Got Game.